Good evening and welcome to Poland Daily. I'm Nicholas Richardson and this is the news. There's been more trouble at the border crossing at Kuznica Białostocka, where a mob of angry migrants attacked Polish forces at 11 a.m, throwing stones which hit and injured 7 Polish police officers. Some were taken to hospital with skull fractures. This attack was the most aggressive act of violence so far in this 3-month struggle. Allegedly, Belarusian forces distributed stun grenades among the migrants to be thrown at Polish soldiers. The rain of stones thrown by angry migrants was met with water jets from the Polish side. During clashes, the Polish police broadcast an audio message in English warning migrants that force could be used against them. Migrants threw bottles and wooden logs at Polish soldiers and used sticks to try to break through the fence. It can be said that they used more complicated tactics. Some migrants were involved in throwing stones at Polish soldiers and officers. At that time, also other people tried to approach the border security, pulling up posts, tearing down the border barrier. The border guard gave out information about the expulsion of 29 foreigners. They will be denied entry to the European Union Schengen area for 3 years. In the centres at the moment we have 1,857 people. Among them, 1,060 people have applied for international protection in Poland. Citizens of Iraq predominate, as there are as many as 651 foreigners in the centres, and these are citizens who have applied for international protection. The remaining large group are citizens of Afghanistan, 171 people. There are people throwing stones, but also grenades. These grenades were not taken from Iraq, Syria or other countries. These grenades could only be handed over to those who threw them at the policemen by the representatives of the services of the Belarusian regime. These were tear grenades, flash grenades, which were fired from special slingshots so that the thrower is not near policemen. This attack was prepared so that it had started a little to the side of the border crossing, leaving women and children at the border crossing point itself deliberately to prevent a firm reaction. A briefing was held at the National Security Bureau attended by Prime Minister Mateusz Morawiecki and President Andrzej Duda, as well as heads of ministries, services and armed forces. The head of the Presidential International Policy Office, Jakub Komoch, addressed journalists' questions about the possibility of triggering NATO's Article 4. This is a certain option that is on the table at the time. At the moment, the time comes to activate Article 4. I will remind you that these are consultations. This Article 4 can be activated.
Ten konflikt może się przeciągać przez najbliższe miesiące. Wiemy o tym doskonale, że reżim dyktatora Łukaszenki pod tutaj również kierownictwem prezydenta Władimira Putina ma w ten cały sposób.
Deputy Prime Minister Jarosław Kaczyński gave assurances in an interview with Polish Radio 24 that there is currently no spectre of an armed conflict with Belarus, although, as he stresses, speaking of Aleksander Lukashenko, we are dealing with an unpredictable man.
Wojnę hybrydową to już mamy, natomiast wojna sensu stricto, taka z użyciem broni, w tej chwili się na horyzoncie.
According to experts, Poland faces direct aggression from Belarus. The lives and health of officers and soldiers are being threatened.
To, co jeszcze najbardziej istotne, za pomocą pewnych zasobów, albo powiedzmy wprost, kamienie, granaty hukowe, różnego typu elementy drewna specjalnie zwiezionego na granicę, są to elementy, które zostały wytworzone.
Polish media reported that the border is guarded now by as many as 20,000 border guard officers, police and troops. After the violent events, Belarusian authorities made migrants walk to a nearby forest, where they once again pitched their tents. However, some lucky ones were given shelter in a giant warehouse at a nearby logistics centre. Poland, Lithuania and Latvia accuse the Belarusian regime of manufacturing the humanitarian crisis on the eastern border of the European Union, and the 3 countries also point to the Kremlin as a supporter of this action. At the same time, Russian Minister of Foreign Affairs Sergey Lavrov criticised Poland for its treatment of migrants. Meanwhile, Aleksander Lukashenko, who recently spoke to German Chancellor Angela Merkel, is expecting another call from this soon-to-depart world leader. According to Lavrov, Polish security forces are violating international laws and conventions in their handling of the migrant crisis on the Belarusian border. The behaviour of the Polish side is completely unacceptable. I think the water cannons and tear gas and shots over migrants' heads towards the Belarusian state, all of it reflects a desire to hide their own actions, and they cannot but understand that they violate all thinkable norms of international humanitarian law and other international legal norms. One of the goals, which as we now see is achieved by the Polish side, is not to allow its actions to become publicly known. They do just not allow journalists there. Journalists from CNN, BBC and other Western media and television channels. They work on the Belarusian side and do not understand why they are not allowed to the Polish side. Aleksander Lukashenko has been isolated by world leaders since he falsified the presidential election results in August 2020. Now he thinks the man-made migrant crisis could bring him back to the world stage. Aleksander Lukashenko has spoken to German Chancellor Angela Merkel and is waiting for her to call again. As I have told Merkel that the problem is that if we won't save those people, we would both lose. Both Belarus and to an even bigger extent the European Union, which didn't let the refugees through to the European Union territory. That is why we need urgently to make a decision about these people. That's why I have proposed solving the situation in general. I won't specify at the moment. We agreed with Merkel that we won't talk about it specifically. She asked for some time, for a pause to discuss this proposal with the members of the European Union. That's fine.
Only a few weeks ago, Poland challenged the European Union's top court decisions as creating law based on precedents and thus breaching the European Union treaties. In return, the European Court of Justice punished the country with a fine amounting to €1 million a day. According to lawyers, today's ruling is a follow-up. The ECJ ruled that the Polish rules which allow the Justice Minister to assign judges to the higher criminal courts or to remove them without stating his reasons violate European Union law.
The case arose after a Polish court asked whether the Polish government's ability effectively to second one of 3 judges to a panel ruling on criminal cases or to terminate a secondment infringed the requirement for judicial independence. The Polish court said the secondments and terminations were not based on predefined legal criteria and the latter did not have to be accompanied by a statement of reasons. The European Court of Justice said the rules related to secondments must provide necessary guarantees to prevent the risk of them being used as means of exerting political control over judicial decisions. Poland's government is involved in a series of disputes with the European Union regarding issues such as the rule of law and judicial reforms that critics say undermine the independence of the judiciary. On the other hand, Poles say the organisation of the judiciary in a member state is, in plain English, excluded from EU law by the treaties, and that the European Court of Justice has no authority in this area.
President Andrzej Duda has signed a bill on changes to the tax system. According to the new regulations, the annual tax-free allowance will increase to 30,000 zlotys, and income above 120,000 zlotys will be taxed at 32%. The aim of the act is to create a friendly and fair tax system.
The new tax rules that will benefit the lowest earners but will hit those earning higher wages will take effect in Poland from 2022, after President Andrzej Duda rubber-stamped the changes. The new tax legislation, promoted under the government's New Deal reform package, includes 2 main changes to the Polish tax system. The annual tax-free allowance for individual taxpayers will be raised to 30,000 zloty from 3,091 zloty. The 9% healthcare insurance contribution will no longer be tax deductible, which will raise the effective tax rate by the same percentage. The tax reform will benefit low earners and old-age pensioners, while high earners are set to lose out. The changes will be neutral to negative for most business lobbyists say.
That's the news. Thank you for watching. Stay with us for the weather, Poland Daily Business and more programmes. But from me, it's have a good night and a better tomorrow.